Hey guys, so this is vlog number 5, and I kind of had a tough day today. I started the day off with a huge fight with Walt. Great start of the day, right? And then I've been dealing with some back pain, and then today it just feels a little more painful. And I know that it's been a couple of weeks, and honestly it's been healing, but I just like whenever I feel the pain, I felt really anxious and I felt really bad, and because I haven't been able to do martial arts, it made me feel sad. So I just want to show you guys how I deal with these negative emotions. Um, I use Dr. David Burns' cognitive behavioral therapy exercises to help me cope with these just negative emotions and tough stuff that can happen to anyone in life. And so yeah, just want to show you guys a little bit what I do to help. So I am using the exercises from this book called Feeling Good Handbook by Dr. David Burns, and it's basically a book on cognitive behavioral therapy and the exercises that you can do by yourself. And so this is, yeah, like a really thick book, and it's just, because it's a handbook, it's full of all sorts of exercises that you can do. Of course, besides the exercises, like Burns also show you, like the theories behind it. And so the technique that I like to use the most when I feel bad is called the 3 columns technique. So basically, it's you first describe the upsetting event. So sometimes you just feel like, oh, I just feel bad, but trust me, there's always something that is making you feel bad, whether it is, like some part of your body's hurtful, or somebody said something that makes you feel angry, somebody did something. Yeah, so you have to identify the upsetting event, and then step 2 is record your negative feelings. So those feelings could be, you feel angry, you feel anxious or sad. Just, putting that down really helps you face your emotions rather than running away or shoving it aside. And then the third step that you have to do is to draw out these 3 different columns. So the first one is like writing down your automatic thoughts. And when we're feeling bad, there are tons of different thoughts that are running through our heads, and you kind of need to pick them out and write them down. And once you do that, then you identify the distortions of those thoughts, because if those thoughts are making you feel really angry or really sad, chances are that they're distorted at some level. And I know that our thoughts are all sort of distorted at some level, but when you're feeling really upset, they can be pretty seriously distorted. And I think he has like a list. He has a list of like cognitive distortions, which I will mention later. And so after you identify the distortions, then you can write down rational responses towards your own thought, and sort of like recognize the facts and what's actually happening and how you can better deal with the situation, instead of thinking and believing and just looping those automatic and negative thoughts in your head. So I actually have a dedicated notebook that I put in these. I do these 3 column exercises, and the reason why I want a dedicated notebook is because it's just like full of really ugly things, and yeah. I do them and then I just like tear the pages. Like you can see, these are like, you can remove the pages, and I would like tear them off and just throw them away. These are not something that you want to go back to. Definitely not creative writing or anything. So what I do here this morning, when I had a fight with Walt and I felt really bad afterwards, was like I just drew a stick figure, and with crying phase, and then just like wrote down all those things that I said when I was arguing, or I wish I had said when I was arguing, like just typical stuff like, you always blame me, you always think you do more, whenever you're upset you blow up on me, like these, I guess, when you're fighting, it's those things just come out, and might be very similar to how you fight with other people too. And what I did was, the stick figure really helps me like get out those negative thoughts, because at this stage you really don't want to censor yourself. Like you want to just like get the most ugly out, because you're gonna have to face it and deal with them. And so the upsetting event was, like Walt and I had a fight. These are negative emotions. I put down all these automatic thoughts that are coming from here. And then I identify the distortions, and I worked on the rational responses. And yeah, there's quite a bit here. And later on, I had back pain and I felt pretty sad. I was actually crying. And so, just like identifying those thoughts that made me feel sad, because, like it's back pain, and a lot of people have back pain, and it's uncomfortable, and they can still live. And my back pain isn't even that bad. Honestly, it isn't that bad. Somehow it just like really tripping me out. So that's why I do these exercises. My upsetting event was that I had back pain. I felt frustrated and sad. I just really wish that it would go away. And so these are the automatic thoughts that are coming from, this little sad stick figure. I just have to face these ugly thoughts. Yeah, I have to face these negative thoughts, identify the distortions, and then come up with a rational response toward each one of them. And I forgot to mention that a really important part of this is that in the very end, you rate your outcome. So there are 4 kinds of outcome. Number 1 is not at all, you're feeling not at all better after doing this, a little better after doing this, quite a bit better, and then a lot better after you do this. And usually I go from a little better to quite a bit better. And this is not like a happy pill, like you just feel happy after you do this. Usually I feel calmer, and I recognize my distorted thoughts, and then they stop having a huge grip on me. And then, as I go about my day, or as I, go to bed, I just let that go, and I feel better. So yeah, that's kind of how I deal with some negative thoughts, negative emotions. And yeah, I guess that's what we are doing today.